We're going to be talking about the writing process today. Our essential question is, when given a writing assignment, what should I do? Good writers usually follow specific steps that help them to be able to write better papers. It's not magic or anything tricky. There's just a process that if you follow it, it makes it a lot easier to write out the paragraph or the 5 paragraph essay or whatever it is that you were assigned. So we're going to take a look at that process today. First, we're going to take a look at the pre-writing process. This happens before you write, and most students don't realize this should take up half of your time that you spend on the assignment. Many students skip this step, and when they do that, it makes the rest of their job much harder. By going through and spending your time doing the pre-write portion, you're going to be able to get a lot of your work done ahead of time. So when you actually start writing, it gets a lot simpler. First, you read the question. That's pretty obvious. We're going to read the question. We're going to start there. And after we read the question, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to the passage. When we read the passage, we are specifically looking for evidence that relates to the question. What the article is about or what the passage is about, that could be interesting. But specifically, we're looking for evidence that could help us find an answer that we're going to use for that question. Because that evidence is really what's going to make our writing good. Once we found our evidence, once we figured out what the evidence is going to support, we're going to write down our answer. So we're going to find our evidence first, then use our evidence to help us figure out our answer. And if you follow that process, writing gets very simple because we're basically already in a good spot to write our paragraph or to write our response. Once we've done that, once we've found a bunch of evidence, we figured out what the evidence supports, we're going to pick 2 or 3 best pieces of evidence, and that's what we're going to use in our writing to support our answer. Once we've done the pre-writing part, once we've figured out what the answer to our question is, and once we've figured out what evidence we're going to use, then we start writing. We don't worry about this until that's done. Once that happens, we do our writing, and this should only take about a quarter of the time. Now, starting off, this might take longer because you're not used to following this process, but as you go through and as you practice writing and as you figure out how to put the different pieces of writing together, you'll find that it gets going faster and faster and faster. So the process eventually, despite the fact it may feel like you're wasting time by doing the pre-writing part, it will actually make the whole thing go a whole lot faster. The first thing you're going to do once you start writing is you're going to write your topic sentence. This is like your skeleton. Your topic sentence is what everything is going to revolve around. It's what everything builds around. It's what shapes your whole answer or your paragraph or your essay. In your topic sentence, you're going to answer the question clearly, and you're going to write a sentence that your evidence will prove true. That's very important. That's why we find the evidence first. In a paragraph or an essay, the evidence has to support your topic sentence. So by finding the evidence first, we're going to make sure that our topic sentence is supported by our evidence, that our evidence will prove this true. Then we add our evidence. Evidence is like the muscle of your essay. Muscle goes on your skeleton, and it's what gives your skeleton your body strength. Well, it's the same thing when you're looking at writing. Evidence is what's going to make your writing strong. So we're going to add that evidence. We're going to add a fact or detail that supports our topic sentence. Then we add analysis. Analysis is the style. It's what makes the writing yours. This is where you put your thoughts and your feelings and your interpretations. The analysis sentences are going to explain why the evidence supports a topic sentence. So there's a lot of different ways that we could do this. And really, this is the hardest part of writing. And we're going to spend a lot of time this year on analysis sentences. Starting off, we're probably just going to have you guys try to do your best on analysis sentences. And then we're going to build on that. And it will get easier and easier. And eventually, you'll be writing really good analysis sentences. If this is hard for you, if this part of writing is tough, don't stress that. It will get easier as we go through. I'm not expecting your analysis sentences to be great right at the beginning. Once you've added your analysis, you add your second piece of evidence. Remember, we were picking 2 or 3. We put our second piece of evidence in, and then we write out its analysis. Once that's done, you're going to be good with your paragraph. So we're going to spend half of our time getting all of our information together, ready to go. That will make the writing process go a lot faster. Then we get to the post-writing period. This is another quarter period of the time. You should spend as much time on post-writing as you spent writing. This is another step that students often skip. And when you do that, it's going to make your writing worse. And it's also not going to help you to realize what mistakes you're making in your writing. So when you're doing your post-writing, what are you going to do? We're going to really look on these 4 steps. We're going to proofread for errors. We're going to look for opportunities to improve. What does that mean? We're going to be looking for words that we could swap out to make a better word. We're going to look for some different sentence Legos that we could put in. And we're going to talk about those sentence Legos later on and the different ways we could use real simple little tools to go through and make our writing better. We're going to do peer review whenever we can. We're going to see if we can have other people take a look at our writing with us. We might swap that with another person in the class. We might go through and just have a friend read through our article for us and point out some different stuff. Then we're going to go through and fix our mistakes. Okay? We're going to make whatever corrections we found. When we say rewrite, that doesn't mean you retype everything over again. A rewrite just means we're going through and making it exactly how it should be. We're reading through it and realizing, oh, I need to fix this and this and this. And we make sure that it's very nice, that it looks professional, or that it looks neat and organized. This is the process we're going to use for writing. And when you get in the habit of doing all of these steps, your writing is going to get much better. And more importantly, writing for you will become much, much easier.